Hey there, crafty friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa Miller. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California, and today I wanted to make a really quick and easy birthday card. We're actually going to make two cards. Now, this card came about because last week I needed a unexpected birthday card, and I just had no idea where to start. But I knew in my Forever Fern stamp set that I had some extra die cuts that were already stamped and cut and ready to go. So that's what I did. I pulled out this set. It does not say happy birthday, but I knew I had the pieces that I could use for a birthday card. And it's got some great sentiments on there. And then with the die set, you get 14 dies, and all of these dies will fit in your mini cut and emboss machine. So that is really nice. But what we're going to do here is I keep all my extra die cut pieces in a little bag. We get these little bags in our paper pumpkins, and when we buy embellishments, we get them all the time, and I save them. And then I keep all my extra pieces in there for when I need them. So that's what I did here. But first, I think we will go ahead and stamp a couple just so you can see how easy they are to stamp and die cut. And I've got my Highland Heather. I've got mint oh no, this is soft seafoam, old olive, and mossy meadow. So I've already got all my stamps on my blocks, and I know which stamps I used on which colors. Oops, I'm already getting ink on my hand. And I've got these all ready for us. And so what I like to do is I like to make sure that my paper will fit into my mini cut and emboss machine. And so I just cut that to 3 inches wide, and that'll fit in there perfect. So let's go ahead and stamp just a couple images here. I like to do different images on one piece of paper. That way I can cut out several with one swipe through the machine. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a second. So I'm doing my kind of flower one here in Highland Heather. I'm going to put that over here. And these are distinctive stamps, so you get that great shading effect. And I did it again. I keep sticking my finger in the ink. I don't want to smudge my paper. So I'm using old olive on this leaf image. We'll go ahead and put that here. Just like that. And then I've got 3 images on there. So I'm going to bring in my dies, and I can cut all 3 of these at once. So let's see what we've got here. I need these 3 dies. Just take a little piece of your painter's tape to hold it down. We'll go ahead and get the dies positioned over here. And I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but I just learned this last week watching someone else's video. Sometimes you can't get your stem straight, but if you look, there are little holes here. And that's where you want to make sure you see the color come through from your stem. So if you've got it placed and you think you're good, but you can't see the ink through these little holes, you know that you need to adjust it. And I just thought that was the most amazing thing I had ever heard of, because there's been plenty of times where I did not cut my image correctly, and it came out crooked and it had too much white space on one side. But if you just look through those little holes, you can make sure that it's lined up perfectly. So let's go ahead and get these other 2 dies on there. Just like that. One more. And then we can run this through our mini cut and emboss machine. And you know, when you're like in a funk and you just can't think of anything, the best thing to do is just stamp a whole bunch of images and then die cut them, and then you will have them ready like I did when I needed this card last week, super quick. So I've got them all on there. I'm going to go ahead and place that into my mini cut and emboss machine. And we will cut 3 images out in one pass. I'm trying not to shake the table because sometimes it does move a little. There we go. Move this over here. And then I've got 3 images that just pop out perfectly. And those are ready to go. But like I said, I already had a whole bunch already done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I did. But first, let's get these inks closed up before I stick my finger in them again. Just like that. I will move my stamps out of the way and we will get busy assembling our first card. So I've got a panel here. My white is 4 by 5 1/4. I took the happy birthday from our Special Moments stamp set. This was a celebration stamp set, and I actually cut the stamp in half so I could layer it. So I could put the happy on top of the birthday, and I used my layering circles for that. And I'm just going to kind of place that in the center there. And then I am going to pull out some of my already stamped and die cut images. And we're just going to kind of place those all over wherever we think that they look nice. And I do like it when it kind of hangs over just a little bit. So let's add a couple more. And we've got different color greens in there because we stamped them all in different colors. Let's see what else. Let's add another one of these down here. Let's see. I think I like this one over here. So we're just going to kind of fiddle with it and get those placed where we want them. Now on my one card that I showed you, I had them with dimensionals underneath. Let me show you. This one has dimensionals underneath, and I really like that better. This one, I glued the die cuts directly down to the panel, but I think I like it better with them popped up a little bit. It just gives it more character. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're just going to kind of place these, fiddle with them a little, move them around, see where we want them. And I think that actually looks pretty darn good. So what I do now is I take it like this, and I'm just going to flip it over. And then I am going to add dimensionals to the back of it. And I can still adjust these a little, but I want to try to keep them all in the right place. So I've flipped that over. I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of dimensionals and just put dimensionals where they meet so they stay together. Wherever you see that they overlap is where you want to put your dimensionals. And that's good. We just lost one, but that's easy to fix. So I'm going to put this back in the middle. I'm going to stick that one down there. We will flip it over again, and we will try to get that guy glued on there. That's perfect. I think that's going to be great. Just like that. So now we can take a little bit of glue and we can lift those just a little bit, just for a little bit more reinforcement. Stick a little bit more glue under there. Actually, I think that's pretty good. So now what we'll do is we'll just flip that over again, and we'll put a whole bunch more dimensionals all over the whole thing, because I want this whole thing popped up. And if you put them in the center, that's okay, because we are going to put our sentiment in the middle, and they will cover that, or it will cover that. And that looks pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and add some of our little splashes on there, kind of like a splatter, just to give it a little bit more character. And I'm going to bring in a piece of paper just to protect that. And I just do little splashes, kind of turn it all the way around the edge so your splashes don't look the same. And this takes no time at all. I think I had this whole card done in like 10 minutes because I already had all my die cuts all stamped and cut out, so that helped. And like I said, that's something good to do when you're just not feeling it. You know, you want to craft, but you don't know what you should make, or if you're trying to make something and it just doesn't come out as planned. You know, that happens to me quite often. There we go. I think we're all covered with our splatters. So let's go ahead and get our backings off of here. Okay, so now we can go ahead and place this how we want it. And I think that's probably pretty good right there. And then we can glue down our sentiment. Make sure you get it centered in there. You want to make sure that your happy birthday is the right way. Put that on there. Just hold it for a second so it stays in place. And then you've got all your little areas are covered, so you don't have any openings on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in some of our brushed brass butterflies. I just love these. These add so much detail to this project, and they just make it so pretty. I've got a big one on my sentiment, and then we're just going to add a few others here around. I think I'm going to put 2 more. I think we'll have 5 total. Let's put 1 over here and then 1 down here. I think that's perfect. And then I've got my layering piece. This is Highland Heather, the same as the ink. My layering piece is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Just like that. Perfect. And now we can add this to our card base, and that card is done. So quick and simple. There we go. Just make sure that's centered. Make sure it's attached. And that one is done. Bring in our bone folder, give it an extra little crease. Okay, see how pretty that is? I just love that. And the dimension, using the dimensionals behind there, it's beautiful. Okay, so one more card real quick. This is an even quicker card. This is just a single layer card with stamping, and that was so easy. Even if you have even less time than you do to have to use the die cuts, do it this way. So I've got my card panel. It is cut. That one has some smudges on it. Same thing, cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to bring back in our inks. So let's get those opened up. Highland Heather, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow. And we are going to start with our main image that's in the middle. So I've got the one leaf image here that's in the middle, and we're going to start with that. So let's get that inked up. Put that in the middle and stamp. I just love these stamps. The distinctive stamps are so pretty. So let's bring in our kind of flower image. And what I did here was I got it all inked up, and then I wiped off the stem because I didn't want the stem to show entirely. And I just kind of got it close to my first stamped image on the right side. And then I'm going to do it again on the left side. So just wipe that off. Stamp that. Just like that. Bring back in our darker leaf image. Get that positioned over there on the right. And then we'll do the same thing again on the left. Just kind of position it around those flowers. And then we can bring in this leaf with our old olive. And we're going to stamp underneath here. We're going to kind of figure out which way we want that positioned. And just put a couple leaves in there. I think we'll do this one like that. That's perfect. And then if you want to, you can see here, I added a couple extra of the purple all around just to give it some more color. So we're going to do that also. We'll put one down here. We'll put another one in here. Oh, that's so pretty. I love these colors together. We'll put one over here. Just like that. Oh, I inked it in the old olive. Darn it. That's okay. I think that's probably good. And then we're going to bring in our splatter again, which is the soft sea foam. And we're just going to add splatter all over to fill in that white space. And this goes so quickly. All right, so that's all done. Now we can do our sentiment. And for our sentiment, we are going to use the Highland Heather. But let's get these out of the way. And I have my sentiment all positioned in my Stamparatus. So I'm going to bring that in, put my panel right up here, just like that, and stamp that. And I do stamp this a couple times because the Highland Heather all by itself is pretty light, and I want my sentiment a little bit darker. Perfect. So now we can take that out, put this away. We can add this to our colored cardstock. And for this one, I'm going to be using the Mossy Meadow. I think it just adds a nice contrast. So let's do that. Nice and centered. Then we can bring in our card base. Add this to our card base. There we go. Just like that. You know, I have to have my layers. Perfect. Give it a little crease. And then we can add our butterflies. The butterflies just really add a nice detail to this card. And just wherever you think they look good, just scatter them all over. I will have everything that I used in this video along with the colors linked in the description below. If you need a catalog, if you don't already have a demonstrator, please send me an email to Handmade Hugs by Melissa, and I can get a catalog out to you. And there you go. Those are our 2 cards that we made today. Very quick and simple, and they just are so pretty. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you have any questions, send me an email. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.